Today, I'm going to talk to you about probably the most important marketing technique that is in not only our business, but all small businesses and all businesses in general today. And that is the technique of warm selling. Now, warm selling is based around the idea that you are developing a relationship with your customers prior to the sale. You're creating a situation where you are known to the customer knows you, trusts you, has a relationship with you, and therefore picks you to do business with above and beyond anyone else. This technique is probably where all of the sales are going to go in the future. And what it's going to do is it's going to encompass your entire business and create a situation where you're picking your customers are picking you, and you have this bubble that you're going to function within. And people are going to come in and out of the bubble, but it's going to be friends recommending friends and things like that. So it's important to get this right. And most importantly is the fact that this is going to be the way that it's done in the future. It's not going to be done anywhere else. So you have to kind of embrace it. You have to move towards this because the system is changing, and this is the way it's getting there. Now, how do you develop a relationship with customers, especially in a situation where your customer base is going to change and your market is going to morph because of people aging in and aging out of it, and events coming and going and things like that change our business every single time of the year? And the answer to that is that social media is going to be the tools that you're going to use. You can use any one of them, and should probably use as many as possible to develop your relationships with your customers. Now, you notice that I'm not saying that you're developing the customer is not developing a relationship with you, meaning you're not getting to know your customers through this process. That will come, but it will come from the business. It's not so much you going out to eat with somebody or something like that. It's a matter of opening up your business and letting people know who you are, your personality, your sense of humor, not just the type of equipment that you got and all that. They get to know you as a person. And so what happens is they gain that trust, and they invite you to come be their vendor. And you, at that point, start gaining a relationship with them as far as knowing them and everything like that. That other side is going to be important because that's where your secondary sales are going to come from. If you walk into somebody's yard and you call them by name, they're going to assume, that you felt enough to remember their name and to go through the things that you needed to get them you know, into your purview or into your mindset. So that side of it is important. But initially what we're talking about is developing it. How do you develop that relation using social media? And again, what you're going to do is you're going to put your products out there, and you're going to show your personality. You're going to show your sense of humor. You're going to show the things that you like and the things that you dislike. And people will watch that and they will gravitate towards you. So, for instance, let's take one of the social media's apps, and the quickest and easiest way to do this is through one of the reels or the TikToks, or just a short video. Shorts video is what you want to do, and that's where you want to focus all your energy in, is in these short videos. In these videos, you have between 15 seconds and a minute to express not only your product, but your personality into that. So remember that. What you're going to do is, if you're setting up a unit or something like that, crack a joke, or, make a funny face at the camera, or do whatever you got to do to kind of, whatever you would do with someone that was, if you were setting up an inflatable for your best friend, or if you were setting up an inflatable for your a family member or whatever, what would you do to them? How would you interact with them? You need to interact with the camera that way. Take this video, do some editing, and again, it's probably going to be very limited on the front side as to what kind of editing you're doing, but you need to do this kind of editing and then get that video out there. Now, what the algorithm in your whatever social media site you're using is going to do is, initially it's going to go out to people who are already in your friends group. And it's going to go out to people who have similar interests in your area. So it's going to do most of the hard work. But you can also reinforce this by using those videos to post into other social media sites like Facebook and things like that to get it into your area. So what you're doing is introducing yourself. It's a handshake. It's a warm sales handshake is what they call it. You're introducing yourself, you're showing your product, you're showing, the way that you're doing your things and your personality, getting people to not only know you and see you, but getting them to like you, so that they're going to trust you enough to do their event, take care of their kids, do the situation where, their event is going to go off without a hitch because they know you and they trust you. The flip side of this is you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. There's going to be people that don't get your sense of humor. They're not going to get your personality. There's things about you that they're not going to like, or whatever. So there may be people who gravitate away from you, and that's okay, because honestly, those kind of people, if you were in a relationship with them, in a business relationship with them, it's going to be a hard relationship anyway. You're going to be sitting in a situation where you're dealing with someone who has a personal distaste for you, and you're putting up, inflatables for their kids in their yard. So, you kind of move beyond that. It's not so critical as that, they're literally going to, be grading you or anything like that. And it's not so hard that you can't create this persona and this handshake with someone, so that they're going to judge your entire life on it. So don't worry about any of that. Like I said, you're just showing your product, showing what you've got out there, and showing them a little bit of yourself. Things that you need to avoid are the extremes on either way. So if you're doing a lot of cussing, that could be a problem because you're dealing with kids. If you're showing a lot of flesh, I don't know, a wife is going to want, her husband to be hiring someone that's showing a lot of flesh, or vice versa. A husband, I wouldn't want a wife hiring some guy that was coming into the yard shirtless, and those kind of things you need to really kind of worry about, because those are the extremes, and it may be your part of your personality, and it may be kind of your thing, and it may get you, some reaction, but it's going to be one of those things where it's going to create a situation with you where you're going to lose a lot more customers than you're going to gain, because simply that's entertaining to watch, as long as I'm not watching it in front of my kids or my wife in my yard. So be careful of all that. Also, you know, if you're drinking alcohol or you know, whatever the or anything like that, that kind of things is a huge no-no, because again, you're in a situation where you're dealing with kids, and you're dealing with people who have certain feelings on all of that stuff. Keep all that stuff, all the fringe stuff on the outside. You're talking about, you know, things that have to do with the business itself and things that have to do with, you know, the event, and some light humor or some light, you know, conversation, something like that. Those kind of things are going to get you in the mix without, you know, pushing you too far out on the outsides. Another thing that you need to kind of look at is if you put it out there, that you better be it. If you're super, you know, neat, and you're you know, on point and everything on your videos, and then you get there and you're a slob and you're total opposite, then what you're doing is creating a situation where they're going to call you out on that and call you as a liar and you know, a fake or a fraud, and that's the world's worst thing that you can do. Be real. If it's you, it's you. If it's not, it's not. Be real about it. Again, there's certain things that you want to do in business, you know, and you know what they are, but don't be in a situation where you're creating something that you're not, or you know, you're being in a certain way. Again, this is going to be the way that all sales are done in the future. So you know, it's one of those things that you need to embrace, and you need to move towards it, because there is no other way. It used to be you could buy your way into people. That's going away, and we're moving into an era where you're going to have to create this bond with people, so that they know who you are and they can move into it. It's not going to be super difficult, and honestly, need is going to outweigh a lot of preference when that comes to that. If I need a tent for a wedding, you know, I want the right kind of person, but I need a tent. So, you know, if you have a tent, you're 50% of the way there. So don't let it, you know, push you to the point where you're worried about it, or you're in some kind of way about it. It's not going to be that kind of situation, but it is going to be the way that you're going to be able to market and advertise, because the other stuff is rapidly going away. It's not going to exist, or it's going to exist in a different form. Facebook has already changed. They're already totally different when it comes to the way that they do things. I used to spend, you know, a lot of money on Facebook and Google and some of the other ones, doing things, and now I'm shifting back towards just doing these personal videos and creating this persona and creating these relationships with the customers. And that's the way that marketing is going to move forward, at least until the, you know, in the near future, until it gets into a point to where, you know, they could figure out a way to make money off of it. What they're doing right now, I want to let you know this is kind of an important part of it, because it will help you and you're trying to create the videos. What the social media sites are doing with your videos right now is they're placing ads in front of, in the middle of, or at the end of your videos. So they're making their money. They're placing these ads, you know, around your videos and using your videos to draw people in. So keep that in mind. You want to create something that's going to be catchy, something that's going to, you know, draw people in, something with, you know, smiles and animals, or you know, the things that you like to look at. You like cat videos and on your thing, then why can't you make a video of, you know, you setting up a bounce house and you know, petting the neighbor's cat, or, you know, whatever. Those kind of things are they're gonna pop up. You need to use those because that's what's gonna draw people to it. Also, you need to go ahead and start studying up on how you can make your videos better. the way that you can edit and the way that you can use some of the filters and things like that, adding music and things like that. All of that is going to help. So make sure that you start studying up on that.